I've been training Chop, the wild Alaskan dog, for the last 4 weeks. And we've shown you every step along the way over this 15-episode series. We've had our ups, how about that? And we've certainly had our downs on this journey so far. When Chop came to me, he couldn't even sit, and he's come so far, but there are still a couple of serious issues that we must address before he goes on to his new home. I think we may have found the perfect family for Chop. But first, we have to make sure Chop is going to get along with their dog. And I felt like in that moment, every bit of training I had done with him was meaningless. This is Reality Dog Training. Subscribe and click the bell so you never miss an episode. From pretty much the first second we got Chop, it was very evident that there were some potentially scary issues that we were going to need to address throughout our time together. You might recall he even snapped at Inertia while he was chewing on his bone on day 1. He's look, Inertia, come. So we do see some potential resource guarding over the bone there. And ideally, I don't want to turn Chop over to a family if he has an issue of snapping at other dogs over a bone. It's natural for dogs to want to protect things that they value, so I can't really blame Chop for that. It's on me to show him that he doesn't need to feel defensive around things that he likes. Now look, every dog and every scenario is different. So when dealing with issues like this, it's always a good idea to enlist the help of a professional trainer who subscribes to modern animal training standards. If you don't know what that means, I'll have a link in the description that will cover that in detail. Since then, I've been really focused on working with Chop on not feeling so threatened when he has possession of something he loves. I've been repeatedly doing exercises like giving him a treat and then offering him his bone with the aim of helping him develop a positive association anytime we're near the bone. Now, when I'm dealing with potentially dangerous issues like this, my strategy is, first off, 99% management. And that's as simple as making it literally impossible for an issue like that to escalate. Up to this point, I've had Chop and Inertia in completely separate rooms whenever his bone is present and he's not in the crate. Since he's done so well, today I'm ready to let Chop enjoy that bone in the presence of Inertia for the very first time without being in a crate or in an otherwise controlled setting. Well, I mean, I will be doing my best to keep things controlled. My aim here is nothing fancy. I just want him to behave calmly, enjoy his bone, and have a good experience with Inertia and me in the same room. And I really want to verify that I have Inertia under total control during this lesson. If she goes up to that bone while he's chewing it, that could very easily reinforce Chop's fear and make him feel overly protective or even cause him to act out. Inertia, come. I'm watching him to see if he stiffens up as we go back and forth. I'm going to put her into a right heel. And we're gonna walk up here. Come on, here, good. Inertia is doing so well, and it looks like Chop is discovering that a training session is underway. I'm kind of not surprised by this because it seems like he's got a hunch that I'm using some extra powerful kibble. Traditionally for most dogs, and Inertia especially, everyday dog food is only mildly reinforcing during training. That's why we're using the good stuff today. You guys have got to see what's so cool about it. Let me see if there's one. Yep, you're automatically getting those vitamins and supplements. Bark Eats actually invented a completely new technology that allows them to cover the food with apparently very delicious stuff. I'm guessing both dogs are into this because of how good it tastes. They actually send it to you pre-measured, which is great. This also has the added benefit of making your dog food very portable, which is handy when you're training a dog. You answer a handful of questions on the site, and then a qualified nutritionist will make your meal plan for your dog. If you are looking for a really new high-quality kibble to try, give this food a shot. Bark will give you 60% off your first order. barkeats.com/ZachGeorge, link below. So this is gonna be a huge test. I'm gonna have Chop take the bone and let go of it a couple of times. And so, I mean, I feel confident in doing this. You can see how close they are. He's able to chew the bone. Inertia's being a good girl by not going for it, but he doesn't seem alarmed in the slightest. So I feel like we've made a ton of progress here. Take this, do you know? Yes! Let go? Yes! Hey, how about that? That was pretty good. I'd say on this task, pretty much an A+ for Chop. And Inertia too. Okay, so there is kind of one massive obstacle that we're still trying to overcome before Chop goes to his new home. And that is not running after stuff and acting ridiculous when in public. And look, you cannot over-practice stay and come. They're so important. Every dog has to know those. Okay, we all know how much Chop loves his ball. So I want to start by using that as a temptation for him while asking him to stay. Here, look at me. Okay, go get it. That's the first time we've really done that, the delayed fetch there. And he's like, really? I think he'd prefer to chase it while it's moving, but that'll do. Generally speaking, for a few weeks of training, his stay is looking pretty decent, especially when he's distracted. But I've got to make sure that he will come when he is called as well. Come. There's no faster way to success in dog training when you can use something they love to teach them a skill. In this case, Chop loves playing the game of fetch, and it's also a fantastic way to reinforce what the request come means. And today I have a personal goal of seeing if we can achieve our longest recall to date. Okay. When I'm really connecting with a dog during a game of fetch, it makes it so much easier to work on things like come when called from a farther distance. Chop, come. I can more confidently run away from him and feel that he's more likely to return to me because he wants another throw of that ball. And I've got to be able to have Chop's attention on me when I request it. Just doing some basic leash training here, or heel training. We're gonna turn this way. I'm gonna keep him on the same side. And right now, I love how he is staying so close to me without me even having to touch his leash right now. That is a solid looking heel. These right turns are looking good. That was amazing or what? Stay here, look at me. Yes? Okay. I mean, these are the really good examples of the in-between steps of the dog actually learning for the first time. I love that we capture those moments in the series. He's just a street dog, just walking the streets. And I mean, you see how smart these guys are. I'm just blown away by him. Great training session, right? Well, yes, but it wasn't the toughest one. By far, the hardest thing for Chop to do is to pay attention to me when he detects dogs anywhere. It rained all night long, but fortunately, the sun is out and it's a beautiful morning. So we're headed out to address that very issue. Have to reward that close heel.
These do not look like waterproof shoes.
I know they don't, but they are.
Because I just noticed you were in those and I was like, I'm wearing these boots because it's like wet in this field.
We've had days of rain, so.
How confident are you? Because I want to test it.
Okay, there's a big puddle right there. I told you it's been raining. See that? Completely submerged. Here, I'll show you. Let's go over here. The whole reason these shoes exist is to keep your socks completely dry, and they're completely dry right now. Watch. Look.
No way.
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, they're amazing.
Why didn't I get some? I want some.
Wow. I'll have a link in the description. You can go get your own. Oh, he sees a dog in the distance. Very far away. He's being good. He sees the dog. I'm gonna call him. It's a fine line here. On one hand, I want to call him away from the distraction. On the other hand, I don't want to overwhelm him with frustration by trying to get his attention off the dog. But he's not reacting here. And he's even checking in with me, as you saw right there. The way I'm rewarding him here is by letting him observe those other dogs. That's something that he really finds valuable right now. I love how he's sitting calmly. This is definitely an improvement over his behavior around dogs just a few days ago. We did finally have that breakthrough at the dog park, and it looks like some of that foundation is even carrying over here. Yes! I'm gonna go offer him a treat since I said yes. Yes, good man. I mean, better than I thought. I think this is a really good example of how you can see how we're walking that line, waiting for him to initiate some initiative, really, and look at me and then come to me. And I was able to get him to willingly walk away there. And now I'm letting him know, okay, I appreciate that compliance. Go back to looking at the dog if you'd like. There's no harm in that. I think what he wants more than anything right now is just to evaluate those dogs, and I'm happy to let him do it when his conduct is like this. Now, at some point in the future, I need to be able to get his attention pretty willingly around these dogs. It's not really advantageous to just keep calling him over and over in this case when I can see that he's very distracted. I want him really thinking it through, feeling what it's like to want to come to me. So I'm making sure to give him an amazing, incredible reward every single time he comes to me, particularly when in that state, whether I call him or not for now. Chop. Yes, good man, what a boy. That was a really important moment. He's doing really well watching those dogs pretty calmly, but for a second there, his excitement almost got the best of him. But I have faith in the communication we built at this point, so rather than jumping in to correct him, I wanted to see what he would do. And he used his own self-control to stop himself from having an outburst. This is a glimpse of what we're working towards. I don't want Chop to behave because I'm forcing him. I want him to understand how we'd like him to behave. Because of the time we've taken to teach him that doing what humans want can be the path to all of the best things in life. I would say in that first year of training at least, reward them as close to 100% of the time on that skill coming to you when you call them as possible. In the medium term, the idea is to phase out treats, but with core behaviors like come when called, staying with you in public. I really want to err to the side of really sealing in those behaviors with good treats for an extended period of time, rather than being stingy and withholding and being too picky and risk losing him on some of these behaviors. But you can see here, he's very willingly engaged in this training session. I'm trying to give him as much reasonable freedom as I can here with the lead, but don't want him just pulling me in the direction of the dog. Hey, Chop, this way. You can see he's pretty interested in the other dogs, but even though he's distracted by them and wants to keep checking them out, he's not acting frantic or anxious like he did in the past. Here, good, oh gosh. And with this great opportunity throughout this lesson, I'm focused on getting Chop's attention on me several more times around those dogs so that I can try to work in as many successes as possible. So the hypothesis is that the more times he will come to me when distracted like that, the more likely it is that he'll be able to do that in the future. See how he's starting to wander away but come back a little bit quicker? Come on, let's go. It's natural to wonder about phasing out treats, and it's a really good thing to ask about. I'm tempted to keep going and going without treating him because he's doing so well, but I also don't want to get to the point where he starts to wander off, where I pushed him too far. Here? Yes! Really, really nice example. We've been out here probably less than 30 minutes, and we have the distractions of the dogs over there. The emphasis here is on yes, and I just love that he's being so obedient right now. I mean, we're vibing right now, me and this dog. I'm seeing a possible opportunity to give him some higher level exposure, in other words, being closer to the dogs. And you have to test eventually. Okay, we've about halved our distance now to the dogs. Really, if he just looks away from the dogs, that's what I need to mark. Yes, come. Good boy. That was perfect. See that? Just patient. This is a great illustration of how much of a difference distance can make in your training. Chop has been knocking it out of the park all day around these same dogs, but now we're closer to them, and he's finding it a lot harder to summon his self-control. You can see when the dogs start running after a ball, he gets a little more interested, but we'll see if we can replicate what happened down there while under more difficult circumstances here with the dogs closer by. Let's take advantage of it, do some back and forth leash walking. All right, I'll take that, that's fine. Good, come on. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. Yeah. Chop is doing much better around those exciting dogs, even when we're closer to them. He even wanted to play some fetch while those dogs were nearby. That's something he certainly wasn't able to do just a short time ago. Remember, changing a dog's emotional response to something is not a fast process, but it's time to see what we've actually been able to accomplish over the time that we've had Chop. We're at a critical point in this reactive dogs training right now. I don't know if you guys remember what Chop was like just a few weeks ago when we first started training. Relax. How could anyone forget that? We've laid a ton of groundwork, and I think Chop is ready for one of his toughest challenges we've faced in his training so far. And even though I think we're going to have a lot of success, there's nothing I can do to totally guarantee that. And so this is the moment of truth. This is one of my last chances to work with Chop on minding his manners when it actually counts, when he's out here in the real world and when he gets surprised by other dogs that he has to resist. I love how you can shake with him while standing up. It's like a grown man. Hello, nice to meet you, sir. This is a more dog-dense setting where we have fewer options to create distance between Chop and other dogs he encounters. That dog's relatively close, but I'm going to do my best to walk Chop away from this dog to help prevent an outburst. Come here, let's go this way, come on. Good man, let's go. Yes. Very good. So he's starting to get real excited. He's actually still looking at the dog right now. Yes. which is fine. I want him, it's okay to look at the dog. Here, yes. In these desensitization training exercises, when I decide to ask for things, alternative behaviors to barking and lunging at another dog, for example, I tend to reward any focus or attention on me. Here, yes. Working with reactive dogs like this requires you to test at times. You don't always know for sure how your dog is going to behave. And let's also remember, he's a relatively young dog, so he gets very excited. Okay. That's Chop's first reaction of the day. I'm going to create some distance to hopefully bring him back under his threshold. Missed an opportunity there. Yes. Hold on, I'm getting there. I know. Well, again, you know, I marked the behavior I like, so I can take my time getting to the treat there. He knows what's coming. A bit of a rocky start, but that's okay. We're about to get another chance. Here comes another dog already. Here. Good man. Yes. Here, another helpful thing is to have your dog face you while the dog passes, if they're willing to do that. Here. Good. Yes. Yes. We'll walk him away like that, giving him little bits of chicken right now, if you're wondering. So I'm using a high value food reward. Good. Here. Really good. So dog really close by. Again, you see this pattern of being fair to him, letting him see other dogs at a distance. And let him look at the dog. And again, I'm waiting for the right moment to ask for his attention or acknowledge him for giving me his attention without me asking. Just feeling it out. Here. Yes. Good boy. Here. Good man. And so we're starting to get some serious compliance here. I'm told there's a dog approaching from behind. Yep. A lab. Get his attention, I'm gonna move that way. Here. I'm gonna move that way. Yes. Come on. Good man. Now I'm gonna make a turn towards the dog. Good man, let him look. Yes. Love how he's checking in. Good boy. That's a great example of what I'm saying is capitalize on those moments when your dog's like, okay, I'm in the right frame of mind to do a training session with you. And over time they learn that training can be pretty fun, so they're more incentivized to go along with your training sessions. All right, here's another dog. Hey, good, yes. Look at this boy go. He's doing such a great job of being good and paying attention to me. It almost looks like he's been living with a dog trainer. This takes a ton of self-control for a dog like Chop. He's really reaching deep. But now we've got a whole bunch of dogs coming all at one time. Another dog right here. Here. This way. Come here. We got some amazing traction. These are the breakthrough moments when you're working with reactive dogs that you live for. I couldn't be more proud of Chop. He's come so far in our few weeks of training. But we still have one more episode to go. Next time. And I felt like in that moment, every bit of training I had done with him was meaningless. We had Sarah and Steven come over to our house to meet Chop. They also want a playmate for their other dog, Shuggy. Then it felt like a nightmare scenario unfolded. This is reality dog training. Get 60% off your first order of incredible dog food from Bark Eats. And if you like to look cool and have dry feet, you definitely want a pair of Vessies too. You can get $25 off at my special link. I'll have all the links in the description of this video, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Get a copy of my books and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you next time in Chop's final episode.